Welcome to CoreBytes, Core Education's conversation on leading technology topics. I'm Mike Dillon, Core Education's Executive Vice President for Digital Solutions. We're excited to have with us today our CEO, Kamalika Sandell, and our esteemed colleagues, Mike Alstrom, Senior Vice President for Technology, Strategy, and Delivery, and Matt Thornton, Vice President of our Workday practice. So in a world where technology is changing at an exponential pace, we're going to discuss Workday's leadership in the ERP space, the enterprise resource planning space, and how its applications are leading the market in functionality and seamless inclusion of artificial intelligence. So welcome to Workday, our topic for the day. Matt, I'm going to ask you to kick us off.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Mike. So excited to be back on another episode of CoreBytes and really thrilled to have you with us, Kamalika Sandell, because the first question today is for you. Why did Core decide to partner with and build a Workday practice?
That's an excellent question. So I'll take you back over 3 years at this point, and Core had 5 or 6 institutions we were working with. Now, Core was formed with a single purpose, and that is to transform the business model for higher education. We exist to help mission-driven institutions reimagine how they operate, how they grow and deliver on that promise. If you think about the last 5 years within higher education, the pace of change has been nothing like we've seen before. Learner expectations have shifted, financial pressures have intensified, the digital baseline has moved. Traditional models are not just outdated, they are exposed. And presidents, they don't have an option but talk more and more about demographic cliffs and budget shortfalls. They do that much more than they talk about their brilliant aspirations and creating legacy for the institutions and for the students they serve and for the communities that they're part of. So we knew that we had to future-proof institutions. That's our mission. And to future-proof institutions, we couldn't just advise on strategy. Strategy is needed, but it's execution that makes the difference. So we knew that we had to help our institution partners execute at a system level. These strategies, these growth or financial resilience strategies, they're complex, they're multi-pronged. Most importantly, they need to come to life in a very timely manner. So all I'm saying, following Core's journey, execution is key. And you can't execute if the system underneath all of this, if that backbone is fundamentally lacking. So we realized we needed a system that can match the pace, the scale, and the level of changes that is needed in modern higher education. That's why we chose to partner with Workday for its foundation in institutional agility. When implemented with intention, Workday enables a complete shift from fragmented reacted operations to unified data-informed decision-making and an integrated workflow across the entire institution. HR, finance, student, think about that as an end-to-end integrated workflow and an engine, one that is like a central nervous system of a modern institution where decisions are made, resources flow, people are supported, and performance can be measured. And if that layer is fragile, no strategy, no matter how good it is, how visionary it is, no strategy can hold. So that's the Workday story. But the second part of your questions, Matt, is why the practice? We could have worked with Workday. Why the practice? Because nothing about transformation is superficial. Nothing about it. It's deep. We needed to know that we can actually bring about the transformation in a timely manner. We needed to operationalize transformation. What Workday provides is the infrastructure for transformation. You need to own the system layer beyond that infrastructure that powers the institution. That's what Core does. Core brings about that transformation. So we needed the practice because we needed to manage the layer that powers up the enterprise on behalf of our institution. That's what brings confidence to our presidents, our CFOs, our CIOs, that we combine strategy and the execution. We couldn't have done that in a touch and go manner. We couldn't. We would fail. So that's the practice. Let me actually ask you and Michael a question. You've both been in the higher education and ERP space for most of your careers. So I talked about Core's journey, my journey into Workday and Workday practice. But what in your mind distinguishes Workday?
That's a great question. Workday, for one, was the first mover into developing a cloud native set of applications from ground up. So, one first mover in the space, and a lot of other ERPs just took on-prem solutions and pushed them into the cloud as
Mhm.
the first step, right? So
Very true.
they had a wonderful model for how they were doing that, and that model was also dramatically different. Their applications, they process everything in I guess if you were calling it the equivalent of a PC in RAM. So the
Mhm.
access to information is immediate, right? You're not waiting. The other thing that's super unique now, as you look at their applications, they've integrated AI agents into their things. So you have people in roles and they have an AI agent that's assisting them. And then they took it a one step further, right? So AI agents, it's becoming more common in the ERP systems, but they have an orchestration layer that manages both the Workday agent and then allows third parties to develop their own agents. And then customers can pick and choose how to deploy these agents and how they work together. So it's pretty, I mean, they're always on the cutting edge of the latest new technologies and always taking a novel approach to it. So that's what energizes me. It's like I want to be at the forefront of the latest technology and I want to be taking advantage of that. But so I'll pass it to Matt, who's been in this industry just as long as I have, and
Yeah.
let's move the needle for you for Workday.
Yeah, thanks, Mike. I mean, to me, it's the higher education focus. From their development organization, their strategy organization, they're focused on higher ed business needs. Dave Duffield founded Workday, of course, and he has always had an affinity for higher ed from his days back at Information Associates in 1968. Integral Systems, PeopleSoft, and then, of course, Workday founded in 2005. So Dave's always had a heart for and a love for the area of higher education. And they, like you alluded to in Kamalika as well, Workday's always ahead of the technology curve. Can you imagine back in 2005 deciding to build an ERP system that's not based on a database, right? The information is all held in memory, which makes access fast and immediate. Very innovative, very cutting edge stuff back then with ERP. And then the single system that is object oriented as well. When you have object orientation, it allows you to access the system to get the data, to pull the data into a structured way that you can utilize it in various other ways and methods to really drive and inform your college or your university. And then finally, it's built from the ground up on the focus with the student in mind, not just the administration side, but it developed a system that would provide the joy of use, if you will, for the student. I was at a college a few years back, and they asked their entire committee, their board, to go and enroll and admit and enroll themselves in the college, and they couldn't do it. Their students were so frustrated because they couldn't utilize their system. They got Workday, and they realized that the ease of use and the simplicity of Workday was so beautiful, and it just created for a much better student experience. So that's really ways that, frankly, reasons that I really, really like Workday, and I think Workday is so effective in this environment. Hey, Mike, I've got another question for you too. Why did Workday decide to partner with Core? I mean, we're one of many out there. Why did they decide to choose us?
Yeah, and Workday's got a lot of partners, right? So
They
good
do.
question. Yeah, they thoroughly vetted us, as they do all the partners. The core difference is that we are a comprehensive solution provider and operating partner with our customers. So if you think about this, um, we have a variety of solutions across institutional enterprise. And when we work with customers, we create a transformation roadmap, and then we share that journey with them to achieve better operational efficiencies and financial performance, right? And future viability. So Workday is just one of those solutions. But when Workday looked at us, they go, nobody else operates that way. You are truly unique. And we realize that you are embedded in the organizations, making them stronger. So, that's why they looked at us. And then accordingly, on the Workday side, we're providing a full range of services that help enable some of that transformation. And a couple of areas that I'm particularly proud of, so I'll just ad lib it here a little bit, is stabilization and optimization. So after a client has gone live with Workday, we help them find ways to further enhance and improve their operations and processes. This helps them maximize that return on investment. It happens every time you implement an ERP. There's a period of time when you just know that things could be better, and it's not implemented absolutely perfectly the first time. That's where we can come in and help that. And then the other area, which I'm really excited about, because this is taking analytics to a whole new level, is and Workday has a platform for this, advanced prescriptive analytics, where we use AI, and Workday's built in AI, and then we take it a step further, but we can not only forecast the trends, your operational trends, but instead of just forecasting the trends, we'll recommend actions on those trends. How do you augment the good ones? How do you eradicate the bad ones? So those are a couple of things that I'm super excited about in terms of our offering. And I'll mention one other thing. When we selected Workday as a choice, it is fundamental for some of the things that we're doing about private systems affiliations and creating these private systems. We needed a system that would scale with systems, could maintain institutional identity, and still enable a system to harmonize business practices and get sort of the benefits of best practices. So Workday was absolutely the right technology to do this, because there's no ERP out there that can scale to the small institution, to the large institution, and also be a system-wide ERP. So anyway, that's a little bit about that. But I want to really dive into, one of our other offerings, which is absolutely fantastic and really very much a part of us being an operating partner. So I'm going to turn it over to Mike, who heads up our managed services offering. And I'm going to ask you if you can provide a little insight on how we approach Workday managed services.
Sure thing, Mike. We've designed flexible tiered service models that span light touch guidance through hands-on management to full strategic transformation. We're calling those tiers advise, operate, and elevate. And advise is all about preparation, help plan for upcoming Workday releases, guiding decision-making, making sure that institutions are ready for what's coming next. This is setting the foundation for smart, future-focused choices. Operate is where we're managing the environment for the institution. So functional technical support, issue resolution, regular updates, all the things that keep Workday running smoothly and reliably for teams. And Elevate takes it to another level. We partner with institutions, things like AI adoption, analytics, process redesign. We're really looking at how Workday can help institutions reimagine the way they work. And it's really, at that point, it's about transformation and not just maintenance. So we take these tiers and we want to meet the institutions where they're at. So we're not looking to box into any one offering. These offerings are modular with 10 to 12 services in each, and institutions can pick and choose what they want to use. So imagine you're taking forecasting and planning from the advice tier and combining it with AI agent and training from Elevate, and that's completely doable for us.
I love that. I love that we're adaptable and flexible, and we meet the customer where they're at. So I appreciate that, Mike. That's right on. And that goes along with who we are as Core. We're an institutional partner. We work with universities and colleges to develop and execute a business transformation plan, as we mentioned. But one of the other differentiators is we're a public benefit corporation. We measure ourselves on our customers' success, not our success, our customers' success. So as we've discussed today, one of our solutions is Workday, which is driving innovation and excellence. They've incorporated AI analytics and agents to help leadership manage with insight. Workday also ensures that every role within an institution becomes easier to execute and more impactful. So I guess in closing, I'll say, let's embrace this transformation. Let's unlock the full human potential across the enterprise. Let's move from an idea that ERP systems are simply a tool. ERP system Workday can be a true partner in your transformation. So thank you for joining us at CoreBytes.